What's good, y'all? We on episode 44 of Manifest Monday. We on here every week, you know, manifesting these things that we're doing in real time, man. It's been really dope kind of building this community out. Starting just having these conversations on the phone to just doing them on live and then seeing some of the stuff we've been able to accomplish along the road. We wanted to make today a short episode, but we've been doing this every Monday, so we had to still make it happen. And today we wanted to talk about have moving with a sense of urgency. You know what I mean? There's just been a lot of things that's been happening around, Denver and just people that we know, and people, passing. It's tough, man. It's really like a tough time right now, man. And that's we for some reason we always feel like we just have a lot more time than we might actually have. You know what I mean? So we kind of just wanted to get on here and chop today about moving with a sense of urgency, man. And I started off serious, but if we wanted to make this year our $1 million year, then we should be at about 650,000 by now. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, everybody said they was gonna make 1 million this year. You know what I mean? You should be at about 650,000 right now, man.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
I'm
You know
I'm
what I
about
mean?
I'm yeah I'm about 600,000 short.
Yeah, little, I'm a little short. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming up a little short, man. But you know,
Hey man, we're gonna bounce back, right? In fourth quarter,
fuck.
we're gonna be
They
on
ain't never
fire.
seen it.
Yeah, fourth
I'm,
quarter.
I'm about
Normally,
I'm down about 600 big ones, so
right.
That what's crazy is they didn't expect me to make the first 50,000 in like 11 months, but that
Right.
12th month, that's
Right.
where the 900 comes from.
That's it,
Facts.
man.
I mean,
That's
y'all
You
it,
watched
know,
the
man.
Olympics, right? Y'all saw how Steph Curry he started off really slow, and then at the last two games, bro, he
Hey,
just went off. Like
you
every
know,
shot he took was going in.
that's a
I
fact.
feel like that's how
That's a fact.
fourth quarter gonna be for us
It
as
better
we
it
trying to make that
better
mill.
be. It better be,
yeah,
man. It better be.
yeah, man. I
So
hope
what's
so.
what's y'all point of view on that, man? How do y'all feel about just moving with a sense of urgency, and just moving like you actually know what you're trying to go towards? What's y'all take on that?
I would say, bro, it's important, man. I feel like sometimes if we don't work on our goals with a sense of urgency, it takes forever to accomplish our goals, whether it
Mhm.
might be physical goals, relationship goals, business goals. Because, like you said earlier, bro, sometimes we think we have so much time, right? Oh, I can procrastinate, I can wait, I'm gonna do it later. But in reality, man, we don't have that much time. Whatever it is that you're trying to do, I think you just got to get on it, right? Don't wait for that right time because it's never gonna be a right time to get started. Like if you want to get
Mm-mm.
go to the gym, just do it. If you want to like start that business, do it. I think most of the time, myself included, bro, we always wait for the right time, which is just I think it's a form of procrastination.
Mhm.
And I feel like as we're getting older, seeing people that we knew, we grew up with, pass, man, realize like, damn, life is kind of short.
Mhm.
You think you might be here longer, 50, 80 years, but sometimes not really. So make your impact
Yeah,
now.
Yeah.
Reach out to the people you love and care about now. Live life with a sense of urgency, man. Don't wait. Oh, if you have this thought, you're gonna hit. You again thinking about your boy. You're like, I'm gonna call him. Let me call him next week. No, call that dude right now, man, because you never know what's gonna happen next week, bro. And that's
Mhm.
saying, theory applies to your business. Start now. Put in that work now. Grind now,
Yeah.
bro. Because at the end of the day, man, life is short, and whatever goals and dreams that you want, you got to be willing to do that right now to make it happen sooner. Because if you give yourself 5 years to get in shape, it's gonna take you 5 years. But if you decide that I'm gonna get it done within like a year or in a year and a half, you can get it done.
Absolutely.
that's a
That's my
fact.
take on that.
Yeah. I think just like we touched on earlier, man, life is short. And that being said, I just want to say RIP to Anthony Cruz, man. That was my dog, man. That's family. That was my cousin. We was brothers from another mother, man. So I just wanted to take a moment to give a shout out to him, man. I know life is crazy and it takes us on all these crazy journeys, man. But just wanted to take a time to recognize, the people that we care about most, and that we cherish. And you just never know when you're going to get that opportunity to not talk to them again, and uh when this whole thing went down, right, like this happened about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago that we talked, right? I was out in Denver and we just didn't have have time to connect. And we wanted to connect, but just with everything going on with Tiana's scholarship fundraiser and everything, like all the shaking and moving, I was shaking and moving with Marco and all them, so we just didn't have time to connect, and our schedules just didn't align. But it's just it's crazy that from then to now, in a matter of weeks, how drastically, like, the outlook of life looks, right? So you just never know how much time you have left, man. Like, life is finite. And so, when we talk about moving with a sense of urgency, man, it's important to take all steps and opportunities now. Anyone who knows me knows I'm the king of now. Like, I'm gonna do it
Right.
right now. I'm not gonna wait
Yeah.
until tomorrow. I'm not gonna wait till nah, it's to now. Like, that's
Right.
when we're doing it. We're doing it now, because you just never know what will happen. And I'm not trying to say, look at life grimly or anything like
Right.
that, but it's just moving with more intention. There's not, okay, I'll say this. There's no disadvantage of moving with more intention.
Fact.
Moving with more intention there is no downside to it.
Right.
Because you're more intentional and because you move with more urgency, there's no backlash of that. There's no bounce back. Like there's nothing that's like blowing back in your face from doing it, right? If you're going to the gym more, if you're being more intentional about journaling, if you're being more intentional about saving money, if you're being more intentional about building assets and whatnot, like, none of that is gonna backfire.
Fact.
Like there is no downside to moving with more sense of urgency. So that's why I just always encourage people to move now, and because we talk about it all the time, right? The more action that, or excuse me, the more duration that there is between thought and action, the less likely you are to do it. The more you sit there and think about it and process and all that, you're just gonna sit
Right.
there and it just shit is never gonna get done. We talk about it all the time, right? Analysis paralysis. So I think it's important to move with a sense of urgency and just knowing that our time is finite. And DG, you mentioned it, legacy, right? That's what we all are here for, right? We want to leave an impact. And the only way that we're going to do that is by taking action
Right.
now, like not waiting until the end of the year, not waiting until 2 years from now, 5 years from now. All those actions that you take now are going to
Right.
benefit you by the end of the year, but 2 years from now, 5 years from now. But that all starts with you, and it all starts with those baby steps.
Right.
That's a fact. Man, when you was talking through that, bro, I think so many people just have like these big goals and they just think about them. And well, a lot of people don't even have goals, but the ones that do
Right.
have goals that they're actually aiming towards, they're so big that sometimes they don't even know where to start. So I
Right.
just wanted to double down on the fact that, like, what I mean, if your goal is to buy a house, you don't got to buy the house
Right.
today, but you know what I'm saying, see, try to get pre-qualified. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Take 20 minutes, just do something small, bro. I think it's so important to just do certain small, because them little small steps add up. Like,
Mhm.
exponentially over time. And, even when we was talking about just, trying to get to the actual goals that we're at, it's probably like a linear path to where we're trying to go anyway. It's a lot of like not moving and then out of nowhere, that line gets really steep upwards, you know what I'm saying? And people start seeing it. People, so I just wanted to give a shout out while we on here to you brothers, man, that, I can feel when I'm around y'all that y'all are moving on a higher frequency right now. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to give a shout out to y'all. Shout out to everybody in here that's just been kind of like chasing and moving towards something. But it's just super important to kind of like move with intention and stay on it too.
Right.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I read this thing the other day, like, we always talk about, we always know we need to do more, but sometimes we got to do less, in the sense of like focus on a couple goals that you
Right.
want to get done
Right.
Yeah.
before you got a million of
Yeah.
them. You know what I'm saying? If
Right.
you got, maybe write down your top three and be like, all right, these are the ones I'm going to focus on. Let me do a little bit every day on these. I guarantee you by the end of the year, some progress is made. 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
100%.
Thanks.
Man.
And I want to take a moment to don't not include yourself in that, as far as like moving with a higher frequency, because the way we were shaking and moving through Denver and Atlanta, man, we was moving on a frequency that I think every time we align, man, it's always special when we always get together. And I think it's cool, man. That's the dopest thing about growth and, like, elevation and just moving with intention. When you see all of that come into fruition, and you can actually like firsthand watch what that looks like,
Right.
it's honestly something that's super special, man. So, just shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to y'all, man. I like, we talk about it all the time, but y'all brothers truly inspire me, man. And I'm glad we're just operating on the certain frequency that we are right now, because things are happening and they're shaking and moving. They may not happen tomorrow, they may not happen a year from now, but they're happening,
Right.
and I think that's the biggest thing.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And one thing I want to add too, man, I would say just have a plan. 'Cause I think most of the time, if we are being honest with ourselves, most of us don't really know what we want, bro. We don't know what we want in a relationship. We don't know what we want in fitness. We don't know what we want in business, right? We're just going through life without a plan. And I
Hmm.
believe that whenever we go through life or anything without a plan, bro, we get lost. Because at the end of the day, it's nothing really to focus on, right? If your day is not planned, you wake up in the morning, there's so many things to do. But if you structure your day, if you know what you're trying to accomplish, if you know what, like we had this conversation before, what money you think might be your financial, that going to make you comfortable financially, right? Most of the time, we don't know these numbers, right? So we just go through life without having a plan, and it become a lot harder. And I think just by having a plan, it makes life a lot easier to navigate. It's like a
Yeah,
map, right? It's like you're driving, you know where you're going. Imagine just getting on the freeway without navigation. It makes it harder because you don't know which exit you're going to take. So I think most of the reason why we're now working with urgency because we don't have a plan. I think, and then also when you have a plan, just sticking to the plan. Because sometimes we have a plan, but we don't stick to the plan that we had,
yeah,
right? It's like
facts.
we, pivot when things get hard. We get confused a little bit. And also, one last thing too is like we want things to happen right away, even myself included, right? Like I wish like business can just take over 10 next today, and so we can just be living our life that we want. But in reality, life doesn't work that way. It takes time, it
Yeah,
takes effort. And I think most of the time we get discouraged whenever we like it's like we plant the seed right away and we don't see the fruits, and we start to like dig in and like what's the seed? And then we like
yeah,
mess up the momentum again. But instead of like just like watering that seed and just exposing that seed to sunlight to just let it grow, I think
yeah,
sometimes that's what we need to do in order to like work
yeah,
to that
yeah.
next level.
And honestly, I think another reason why I think a lot of people procrastinate and stuff is because, I think we mentioned this earlier. We think we have a lot more time than we actually do.
Right,
Like I think oftentimes we think that I'm not going to necessarily say invulnerable, but we have this notion that like we're just going to like live forever,
right,
like even though we know that
right.
we're not, like, right, but it's just like, oh, well, I got nothing but time, right?
Right. I'm
And
young.
I'll never forget when I was having this conversation with the homie D'Angelo in college, and I can't even remember what exactly like we were talking about, but I'll never forget because he said in that moment, he was like, "Oh, well, we got plenty of time." And by the like, this was like freshman year in college. By the time we knew it, it was like the end of freshman year. It was like May, and then he doubled back down and was just like, "Oh, we still got plenty of time." Next thing we know, it's junior year, and I was just like, D'Angelo, shut up. Like, stop saying that shit, because time goes by faster. When every time you say that shit, time goes by faster. So stop saying that shit. Like, stop saying we got all this time in the world, because time does not move to anybody's accord. Time is going to do what the fuck it wants to.
Right.
And we've all seen it, man. Every year goes by faster and faster every year. 2024 has been a fucking blur. Like, the fact that it is already September already is nuts. So,
Right.
yeah, I'll never forget that conversation. Like, we all told Diaz, like, just shut up, stop saying that shit, shut up.
I'm gonna go to the
Man, I
comments.
feel yeah, yeah, yeah. Shout out to Tajay. She said, for me, I get lost in the preparation and making sure I have plans A, B, and C, and X, Y, Z. Now I feel that, man. That's definitely one thing that I used to like never have plans, and then I started just like super over planning,
Right.
and I realized you just got to find that balance of
Yeah,
like couple things that you find, that you planning out, but just consistent action on them too. You
Right.
know what I mean? I think that's big, man. But
yeah,
that's easily can happen. And then Rated M said, I'm definitely understanding that. I cannot wait to see the fruit of the seeds I just planted. Shout out
that's
to
fire.
you, man.
That's
That's
fire.
that's dope.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
super
And
fire,
also,
man.
see,
Yeah.
and also what
Yeah, man, and just to keep watering that shit, put some, sunlight on that bitch every
That's
day. You know what I'm saying?
it.
You know what I mean?
Right,
You gonna see,
right.
you gonna definitely see it, man. It's only a matter of time. And it's dope to see when things do grow into those fruits, and you get to taste it, and
Right,
other people get to feel some of the fruits that you get too, man. That's always it's one of the dopest things in life, man, for sure. It's
Yeah,
like something going from an idea
right.
to something in real life that other
yeah,
people can benefit on too. You know what I mean? That's one of the dopest things to me.
yeah,
And also, what I was going to say, whenever you're working with a sense of urgency, other people look at you a little different, right? Because now you are more intentional about a lot of things, right? Because you know you're on a certain path. You know you got to get things done by a certain time. And I believe that sometimes you lose friends, people who are not trying to accomplish things within a certain period of time or time frame. You lose them because at the end of the day, you always focus, like, bro, you're always busy. But it's not like I'm not always busy. There's certain now, like I value certain things more. I
Yeah,
value like being out
hmm
with people, like having these type of conversations, than going to the bar all the fucking time and just talking about girls and like all these things.
bro.
I value like stocks, investment,
Facts.
learning about those things than all those petty conversations that we used to have when we were teenagers.
yeah,
So now when you're on a different frequency, now when you're working with urgency, sometimes people are like, oh, you're acting a little different, and that's okay. And that's okay. Right? I feel like
Yeah,
sometimes like we feel some type of way, like damn, like by the end of the day, you have something way bigger, that you have bigger calling, that in order for you to achieve those things, you got to put in the work. But other
yeah,
people who are around you, they don't see that, right? They
yeah,
just see, oh, he moving strange. Oh, you don't make time for us no more. But like, what's the point of like just making time for us when this conversation that we're having every day is not going to help elevate me to get to that next level?
yeah,
I feel like sometimes you lose friends along the way, and that's
yeah.
okay.
Facts. Your circle gets smaller, man. Like it's just natural. Like, and I think that was something that I used to struggle with because anyone who knows me, especially when I was younger, like I've always been a social butterfly, but I always wanted to be like everybody's friend. Like I was
Right,
just like, oh, I'm gonna be friends with everybody. Like I'm just like, and like I just realized I was just doing it more so to like fill voids and just just I think that innate desire of just like wanting to be accepted and just like like
right,
moving with all these like people and like not necessarily being popular but just like feeling like a part of something, right? And it's just like, oh yeah, like like I know this person, that person, all this stuff. And you as you get older you just realize like a lot of like these people that I know and stuff like that, we don't even have anything really in common.
right.
Like outside of the fact that we like know each other, like like. But
we're humans.
outside of that, it's just
Right.
you know what?
And we're
Or
humans.
And we're
Like what?
humans.
That's the
Like
only
that's right.
thing.
That's it. Like we are Homo sapiens, and that's the only thing we got in common. Like it's just like I don't even know why we have this conversation right now, but I mean here we are. So um I think as you get older, you start weeding out a lot of those people, man, and just in those conversations because it's just like
Yeah,
those they don't serve me anymore, right? And it's just like when you're functioning at a particular frequency or even the frequency that you want to be at, right? Like you have to start understanding and like identifying what it is that's going to like get you to the frequency that you want to be or not. Like if you know that like going out with like Barquan, like every weekend, and just having a good ass time popping bottles at the club talking about bitches and all that, like if you know that's not gonna get you to where you want to be, like in line with the frequency that you want to be at. Hey, man, like, I'm probably gonna start kicking it with Barquan a lot less. Like I'm
yeah.
like, you man, like you real Barquan, but I'm you gonna have to stay on that side, man. You gonna have to stay on that side. I'm gonna go ahead and sit this one out, my brother. Like just and as you get older, like what's crazy is. I think what life shows you, and especially like the people that are closest to you that are in your direct inner circle, is it shows you that all those people and like as a unit, you all are battle tested, right?
Right.
Like we've gone through so much together. Like like not even just like obviously as a team, like we've navigated a lot together. Even through this podcast, like we've navigated a lot together. 40 4 weeks in a row, right? But I'm talking about over time, like of all our own personal battles and all the things that we've had to overcome, personal struggles, like with finances and like credit or like school. I wanted to drop out of college multiple times. Like kind of
Right.
thing. It's like all these things that you deal with and process. It all makes you the person that you are today and that you want to be tomorrow. Like it helps you identify who you want to be tomorrow. And I think the thing is like you have to give yourself enough time. Like you said, DG, earlier, you have to see things through, right? And I think that's the thing about life too, is like you have to be able to see things through with the people around you enough to know that those are the people that you truly want in your corner.
Right.
Because oftentimes you think most people have your best intention at heart, but they don't.
Right.
And that's just being honest. Like everybody moves with their own agendas, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I get that, but when you navigate all these spaces and understand that we've all been through so much, and especially together, it's just like you can't help but like feel closer to those people, because it's just like, man, like, I've been through so much, and I've these people have seen me at my
Right.
worst and my best, like, right, and they still hold it down for me and love me regardless, so like, of course, like, how would I not want to like continue to rock with these people, and the people who just checked out at the first hurdle, the obstacle, right, where it's just like, fuck it, I'm out, like, all right, cool, like, that's cool too. But it's not what we've built as friends, as business partners, as like with a lot of the people that are in our network. It's not like it came easily though, like it took a lot
Right.
of
Yeah.
time, took a lot
Right.
of
Oh
effort,
yeah.
took a lot of experience, right?
No, facts. Facts,
Yeah,
man. And there's just one thing I wanted to add to the situation of like just on moving with that sense of urgency. I think it's really important to like start scheduling your day too, right? Like, we talk about it a lot, is like having that plan for your day, but actually put some times on some of that stuff, even if it's just personal stuff you want to do, putting
Right.
specific times on it. Because I heard somebody say, like, if you don't schedule your day will schedule you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, you know how that works. Is like if you out somewhere and then somebody's like, "Oh, you want to do this?" Right? So I ain't got nothing going on. I'll do
Right.
that. Then you do that, and then it's just like scheduling you. You know what I mean? But sometimes it's dope if you got certain things you're knocking out. Like, I'm kicking it, but at 4 p.m. I gotta do this.
yeah,
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So like
yeah,
then I can't make it to the next one, man. But yeah, hit me after that. You know what I mean? But I think it's just dope to just make sure that you stay disciplined on some of those things
yeah,
by putting times on things and just try to stick to it. We know things always can move a little bit, but we've been on this podcast every week at the same time. You know what I mean? We haven't even really had to move the time that much.
Right.
We got the
Right.
same time, and we just know like whatever's happening in during this time, we have this time blocked out to do this podcast. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And it's like little stuff like that. It's like that's how it gets done. It's like it's scheduled for that time. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So I think that's important, bro.
Yeah. And look at here, 44 weeks later, the momentum that we've built, right? It doesn't necessarily seem substantial, but like
It is
we've been making
substantial.
moves, and a lot of people have noticed it,
Right.
right? But I think when it comes to momentum, like that's something that we talk about, right? Is momentum is a hard thing to start and to stop. Like, so like, granted, like going from 0 to 1 is extremely hard, right? Like
Right.
to even anticipate, all right, man, I don't even know where to
Right.
start, like, kind of thing. But like once you get started and like, the wheels start getting turned a little bit, it's like, all right, like this isn't as bad as I thought it was. Like,
Right.
shit, I hit the gym 2 weeks in a row now. Now I feel like good. Like
Right.
I'm like, all right, cool. Like, yeah, like this feels great. I've been journaling 2 weeks in a row. I've been scheduling my day 2 weeks in a row. And it's like, oh, okay, like this, it becomes a part of your routine, right? Because it's just second nature at this point. Like
Right.
that's what momentum looks like. Like it just becomes second nature because you've disciplined yourself to like just naturally incorporate this into your routine, into your schedule. And so that's what it takes in order to like get to the threshold that you're looking at, right? Because that momentum is just going to keep piling up and piling up, and
Right.
as you're tumbling down that hill, that ice boulders is getting larger each and every time because you're just building all that momentum,
Right.
right? Like, and eventually that thing, you're not going to be able to stop that. Like this
Right.
momentum is unstoppable. Like you are not
Yeah.
going to stop us, so kind of thing. And that's the thing, is just, I think getting started is the hardest part, but like once you realize you've reached that point where it's just like, man, shit, there ain't no way I'm stopping now, or
Right.
the people around me, it's a good feeling.
Right. No, that's a good point you brought up. Momentum. Though it's crazy, right? Because I say the same thing. Like me right now, I notice that my momentum for the gym is hard. I have to like build that discipline again, right? Because with my
Hmm.
surgery, it was like I didn't go for a month, right? And
Yeah,
I noticed that lately, I have to like push myself to go. Before it was just so easier, right?
yeah,
But like after taking some time off, like a month and a half, like I got on my routine. So it's not it take more willpower to get back. It's kind of like the same thing. So if you keep fucking up, whatever you're doing, you're gonna keep building that momentum too. So it's harder for you to get back on track. So it's kind of like it's like positive and negative, right? So it's like whenever you have that positive momentum going, just keep doing it. Keep doing it. The more you do it,
Mhm.
it becomes easier. It's easier to like build that habit. And it's easier now when you go into the gym consistently, it's easier to like start meal prepping
Yep.
over time. It's easier to like start making better choices when it comes to like what you're gonna eat. And it's funny that you brought it up, bro, because I'm actually saying that right now. I'm actually trying to like overcome that momentum to like be consistent like
Yep.
before. Because I'll
Facts.
notice now like now my goal is like 4 days a week. I need to go to the gym before like 7 days a
Facts.
week. So I'm
Yeah.
slowly like trying to like get back, the
Yeah.
way I used to be. And it's crazy that you brought that up,
Yeah.
man.
Same,
Momentum
bro.
is
Like
important.
I went and played tennis today, bro, and that shit whooped my. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I played tennis for an hour, and I feel like, bro, I'm like Jesus Christ. I was out there like, the hands on the hips, like God damn. Like I'm like,
Right,
bruh. And the last thing I wanted to do was eat a slice of pizza or some shit like that. Afterwards, I was like, nah, bro, we got to get
right,
like something.
right.
Got to get something light,
Yeah.
man. Got a little
Yeah.
like chicken bowl. I felt good afterwards. I was like, yeah, man, like, and it's those little things like when you do something well, like when you go out and you work out right and you kill that shit, like, or it kills you, either or, like, like it's still productive, but regardless, you realize that like all that effort and energy is wasted if you just go and like eat like a shit meal. Like, so it's just like all these things like start piling up. It's just like, okay, not only am I working out, but I'm eating well because like,
Right,
like it's all these things are gonna like contribute to like the lifestyle that I want to live, right? I want to live a healthier lifestyle. I want to look better. I want to be able to look into the mirror and be like, yo, that's a sexy ass motherfucker. Even though I still say that to this day, I'm bomb.
right,
I still be looking
right.
in the mirror like, oh, I'm bomb, but I could be bomber, right? So it's just
Right,
like, all right, cool. And so that momentum, it takes time, man. And even people like I'm still getting back into it, man. It's
right,
hard. Like, that 4 days a week is just it sounds easy. Like
right,
theoretically, like
right.
on
It should
paper,
be
it's just like,
easy,
oh, I'm gonna go to the
right.
gym 4 days, 4 to 4 days a week.
Yeah,
It's just like there be them days where it's just like, bro, I don't feel like doing
yeah. I don't feel
shit.
like doing
Like,
nothing.
especially as you get in your 30s and I'm telling you, my Achilles is killing me. I'm like, yo, like what the I ain't never felt no kind of pain like this before. It's just like shit, man. And I gotta do this shit again tomorrow.
Right.
Fuck.
It's
But I'm gonna do
facts.
that shit again tomorrow. It don't matter.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
And also,
man. So
go ahead, Ramon.
no. I know we was planning on having a shorter episode today, so I kind of wanted to just see like
Right,
if y'all have one just big takeaway from
right,
like sense of urgency, like one big tip or just takeaway something that you learned on yourself.
right.
And if you in the comments drop one too, man, just one kind of thing to like continue to find that sense of
Yeah.
urgency.
And for me, that's what I was gonna share. My one tip is it's like everything. Once you start, whatever you did to get to where you are, don't stop. Because if you
Yeah.
stop, you're gonna go back.
Yeah. Yep.
Same
Yeah.
thing when it comes to
Facts.
like fitness, like
Facts.
finance, bro. Like you gotta, it's like it gotta be a lifelong commitment. You gotta like
Yeah.
stay in shape, keep going to the gym. Because if you stop going for a year or two, you're gonna regret. You're gonna go back to where you used to be.
Yep.
Same thing with the business. Whatever you did that got you 50K, 1 mil. Keep doing that. Try to expand more to grow it. Because when you stop, you're going right back to where you started. So it's like
Facts.
you got to keep doing that till you die. You can't
Yeah.
stop. That's the crazy thing. You can't stop. You got to
Yeah.
keep
Can't
doing it
stop,
every
won't
single
stop.
Can't
day.
stop, won't stop,
Yeah, and
baby.
that's my takeaway.
That momentum, man. It's crazy. I would say get out of your comfort zone and try something that you haven't done before, right? Like, I think real realistically, like recently, honestly, we pitched our company for an $100,000 pitch competition. We had never pitched a company for a grant before, especially of that magnitude, right? Like with all things considered, just with competing with all these different companies and not even really knowing exactly, we didn't have everything that we wanted to have together for the company, right? Like, it's just like we have this idea, like Tajay mentioned earlier, like over planning, right? Like, it's just
Right,
like you want to go in with the perfect pitch with having like everything, every detail, in order, right? And you often want to overplan, but then you underdo, kind of thing. And so I think it's important to just get out and try something that you haven't done before, and get out of your comfort zone, because I ain't gonna lie. That was the first time that I've ever really been like nervous, like like pitching. I was like, I don't deal with like anxiety and like shit like that, and I was just like, bro, I'm like for real life nervous. I'm literally over here. I got a sweat rag in my damn back pocket because I'm like, yo, why the fuck am I sweating? Why am I so nervous right now? I'm
That was
like,
the
this is fucking
that
stupid.
was the, just for everybody on here. That was the first time I ever seen Z get nervous. Like that was the first time in life.
I was like, bro,
And
like, what
shaky.
is this what people be experiencing? Like, just regularly? I'm like, this shit is trash. I'm like, oh, no.
This shit is trash.
This
Dude,
shit is
man.
trash. I'm like, this anxiety shit is bullshit. This is for birds. I'm like, nah. So, but it was good to be in that space and to, just for all the people who don't know, we did not get $100,000 grant, unfortunately. But it was still a great experience. It was great to connect with all the people that we connected with, and it taught us a lot. And it's gonna help shape us better, moving forward, and even with our pitches and obviously with our company, and those things don't happen if you're not in those rooms and you're not trying
Right.
those things. So
I agree.
That's a fact. Big shout out to Tajay. She dropped her piece in here. She said consistency is key. Be urgent in starting, but also slow motion is better than no motion,
that's
man.
it.
That's
That
a
is
huge that's a
it.
huge one, man. Just do little things every day. If you put
Right.
15 minutes in a day, I promise you that shit will go. That
Right.
shit, like you will see some type of results at the end of the week. Like, you know what I'm
Facts.
saying? Just 15, 30 minutes. And you'll naturally start going up to it,
Right.
15, 30, 32 an hour. You know what I'm saying? But slow motion is better than no motion, man.
That's
Facts.
it.
Um, yep, I think for my last point, I'm gonna just say surround yourself with other people that are urgent in what they do too, man. This
That,
you got to be around a group that just normalize the type of shit that you're trying to do.
that,
If it feels off to the people that you're around, it's going like they're gonna always like be putting in weird input to you to make
Right.
you feel like maybe I shouldn't be moving like this, man.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you do want to move like that with that sense of urgency, you put yourself with people around that, and then it becomes more natural.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's easier to work on, even if y'all work on the same thing, but it's easier if, your closest homie, your homegirl is working on their business. It's just easier for you to do yours. It's like, damn, I need to, you know what I mean? You want to be around people to be like, damn, I need to get back on my shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
Facts.
need to
Facts.
lock
I
back
agree.
in. You
Facts.
know what I mean? So I think that's super important, man. So, you know, you are two people that are that for me. You know what I'm saying? So every time I see y'all, I'm inspired, man. So, you know.
Likewise.
I,
Likewise.
Likewise.
I let I let
Man.
it be that on my side too, man. Like I said, I don't
Yeah.
try to leave myself out the conversation, but I recognize, I recognize I'm a humble giant at the same time. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm moving on a higher frequency too. You know what
That's
I
it,
mean?
man.
Facts.
We
So
all are.
Facts.
yeah,
We all are.
yeah, man.
And at the end of the day, I think we all believe in each other, too. So not only are we shaking and moving in a particular way, but I think it's like when you have that belief in not only yourself but in the people around you, and like like what we're all capable of. It just it makes everyone around you want to buy in more,
Right.
and lean into it, and just like, all right, like we really shaking and moving, and um I think even people like outside of that, like even if they're not like directly a part of your circle, people notice that and they engage more, and like they want to buy in. And so like these are all things. When you talk about momentum, that doesn't apply to just yourself. That applies to the people around you, more than you even know, kind of thing.
Facts.
So
Hey,
Yep.
shout out to Tante. One last time before we wrap this, man.
yeah,
She
shout out to
dropped the
Tasha.
nip.
She
She
was in
dropped
here
the nip
dropping
bar,
gems.
man. If you look at your circle and you aren't inspired, you really in a cage. Shout out to Nip, man.
Yeah,
Neighborhood
Facts.
Nip, man. For sure,
facts,
forever,
facts, man.
man. So I think that's a great way to end this episode, man. And just like I said, this is in real time. This is what momentum looks like. It's
Right.
easier
That's
to
it.
just do it now than not. When we had to even move last week, and we had to move that one day,
Right.
it
Hmm.
felt off. Like I
Right.
was
Yeah,
like, damn, we gotta, you know what I
yeah,
mean? We
Right.
gotta really move this thing. We did 40, 43 weeks. It wasn't hard it wasn't hard to do it. It was hard not to
Facts.
do it at that
yeah,
point.
yeah,
Like, you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? You know what I
It
mean?
felt it
So
felt weird. I ain't gonna lie, my
yeah,
Monday was a little off. I was like,
you
this is interesting.
but
Yeah, I
we
was
just all we
like
did was
that's fact
pivot.
though. Cause
Didn't it
I'm
feel
not
off?
used to just having free time at 6 p.m. Like
Yeah.
I'm usually doing
So what do I
stuff.
even do?
I
What
don't
do I
what do I
even do
do at
right
six?
now? You know? Yeah, man. So yeah, let's keep that momentum pushing, man. Shout out to everybody in here. Tajay for tapping in. Q Hall, be easy. Let us know if you want to get that episode in.
Facts,
And everybody
facts.
who tapped in today, man.
And once
Happy
again,
Labor Day. I hope y'all Hope y'all enjoying y'all day, man. Tajay said these are happening every Monday at 6 p.m. Yep.
That's it.
It's
Every
6
Monday,
p.m.
6
Denver
p.m.
time. We on here every week, man.
That's it.
44
Yeah,
weeks deep. So
yeah.
That's it.
Shout out
And
to you
once
guys,
again,
bro.
I just want to give a shout out to Anthony Cruz, man, my cousin, man. R.I.P.
all
man. Much love,
right,
man.
man.
Rest easy.
Right.
But yeah, man. Shout out to everybody for tapping in. We'll be back next Monday, man. You know, and
All
every
right.
Monday.
Every Monday we
So
here.
like, come rock with your boys. We gonna be here. But man, shout out to y'all again, man. Let's keep moving at the frequency that we're moving at, and just keep elevating, man. And
For
shit. And
sure.
same thing for everybody in here, man. Everybody who's tapped in, we expect the same of y'all too.
All right,
Hey, and just
brothers.
to, the last thing I want to put everybody who's in here, when you on here rocking with us, man, our network becomes yours, man. You know, I truly believe in that. Like, you know, it's been some cool connections that happen, you know, even in these chats sometimes. I've seen some people kind of networking sometimes, but like, you know, you rocking with us, man. Our networks become yours, man. So, you know, appreciate that. And, you know, let's keep
For
rocking.
sure.
That's it.
All right, fam.
All right,
Talk
y'all.
to y'all later.
All right, y'all.
All right, peace.